here we go. Now, I just said before Abdul came in, and welcome back, Abdul. I just said, reminding the people back home, you may not use someone running for office as an example of power. It's just too easy to keep plugging in with whoever's running for president during that period of time. All right, I got a few things to go over with you, and I'm going to give you your test back. Let me see here. Abdul, I do not have your test graded. I didn't know you'd be sitting here this morning. I thought I'd have to give it to you later. It's half graded. You will get it today. Okay, that shouldn't be a problem at all, but I don't have it. You did, I read both parts of it, right? Okay, all right, good. Anybody else not finished the test? Not take the test? Oh, I didn't think so. Beautiful. All right, let's go through a few things here.
I didn't take the test.
You didn't take the test?
No, I wasn't there on Friday.
Okay, all right. Yeah, we better kick you out. You want to take something with you to do? Okay, all right, close it up for me, please. All righty. Let me write that down just so I remember. All right. Listen carefully. I had mentioned it's a big thing. When you're studying for a test, look at what the question is. For example, the example I actually used was if the test essay said, tell me about the Louisiana Purchase. The Louisiana Purchase ended when money changed hands and the title of the property changed hands. Sometime after that, Thomas Jefferson sent Lewis and Clark out to explore what they had already purchased. So if you chose as your essay to do the Louisiana Purchase, you need make absolutely no mention of Lewis and Clark. And some of you, that was 2/3 of your outline for the Louisiana Purchase. You just went on and on about Lewis and Clark. That was not part of the Louisiana Purchase. So be very careful about that. Similarly, if your subject had been Lewis and Clark, then all you'd have to do was say the newly purchased Louisiana Territory, but you wouldn't have to go back and tell me all the gory details. All right, capitalization. 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 It's part of the English language. It's how you write it. Words like English names. You can't make George Washington just say, I like little G, little W. You can't do that. It's a capital letter. Okay, how about American? I want to drive over to your houses and slap you if you misspell American. Okay, you are American. So how about learning to spell it spelled with capital A? Any word like that, English, French, Spanish, Dutch, Portuguese, it means either A, let's take English. It means the people of England, a specific group of proper nouns. English, the English language, a specific word, a proper noun, or a proper adjective of or related to the people of England. So it needs to be capitalized. All right, what else have we got here? Oh yeah, Louisiana Territory. Those are two words in the name. The territory, Louisiana Territory, that is part of the capital T. Okay, I explained to you guys in oral explanation what you guys should be listening to right now, because we lost a bunch of points on stuff like this. And that was, I said, look, you can get full credit if you do the outline, if you show me 40 minutes worth of work. But if you just do the essay and skip the outline, it's 100 or a 0. Lets you get every stinking thing in there perfectly. You didn't get any credit for the essay. I said, that's what I was going to do. Now, there were several people that said, yeah, I'm going to go with the 100 or 0 thing because I wasn't really listening. And it says in there for partial credit, you have to do the outline. But I'm going to ignore that and figure that meant that I'd only get partial credit because I didn't listen to the oral instructions. The oral instructions are huge. What would happen, if you didn't get everything 100% perfect? It was 23 points on the test. So you start with a 77. I think it's 27 points. Start with a 73. If you didn't have it perfect in the essay and you didn't do an outline. Does that sound reasonable? Does that sound like a good choice not to do the outline? I was pretty clear, do the outline. Okay. Also, in the instructions were, the outline was to be done on loose leaf paper. If you did it on the purple paper, you weren't listening to the oral instructions. I don't care what you got on the test. I'm just telling you, if you don't learn to listen, to focus, stop thinking about the game you're going to play, stop thinking about the computer, stop thinking about the book you read last night, stop thinking about talking to your friends. Think about, I need to get this information. I absolutely need to have it down so that I know how to take this test. Because there are lots of oral instructions you will get over the course of your life that aren't written down and they will not be repeated. So if you have to say to your boss, I did it wrong, can I have a do-over there? Don't take anything off because they just lost $100 million contract for our business. Oh, the patient died because they didn't really listen to the instructions by the surgeon. You can't do that, okay? Listen carefully. Great, huge skill to develop. What else have we got here? Land, power, and religion do not need to be capitalized. All right? Everybody stand up. Turn around. Notice the words power, land, and religion are on the back wall. Yet still we have people misspelling, most particularly religion. All right, turn back around and have a seat. It's written on the wall. I mean, there are two classes that I have in this room where it's written on the wall. Two classes, man, they got to fake it. They got to remember how to spell 3 words. Okay, here we go. Past tense. Stop bringing everything into the present tense. George Washington goes to pray. He's not anymore, he's dead. Been dead for a couple hundred years. He went to pray. That might be more appropriate. If you're talking about history, chances are most of it will be written in the past tense. All right, the right-hand margin. You can't just be the Energizer Bunny and keep going and going and going. You need to stop about the same distance on the right-hand side as what was left to you on the left-hand side. Now, you can't say, well, I only go as far as the question. Again, what if the question is, why? Will you really write 4 characters down the entire page because you only go as far as the question? That wouldn't make any sense. Okay, let's see here. Stapling the corner. Wait a minute, no, we've got one more. You, do not use the word you. Do not write in second person unless you specifically mean me, Mr. Holman. I'm back to doing all kinds of fascinating things. I'm back to fighting in the War of 1812. I'm back at the Battle of New Orleans. I'm back with John Marshall on the Supreme Court. I did all kinds of great things as I read through these steps. Stop doing that, okay? Say what you mean what you say. And then, stapling the corners. When you staple corners, notice where the staple is, in a reasonable place. It is not so that one half of it is hanging off and there's only one little puncture in the paper, and it is not here. Okay, if you staple here, it's kind of hard for me to open it up and read it. So please don't do that. Let's see what else we got here. Ooh, outlining. Okay, I'm going to give you your test. I'll let you look at them for a minute. We're going to go over the test, and then we are going to talk a little bit about outlining. Got it?
Yes.
Okay, so right now, would you stop that while I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes to... Now, get your notebook out. Live this, learn this, love this. Put the quizzes away. Put the tests away. We're not going to be working on that. Put them away. Put them away. You got a notebook out with a blank piece of paper on there because this is something you absolutely have to do. This is how I set up the notes. Es muy importante. Chloe, would you turn that back on? Let me pause.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, children of all ages, let's talk outlining for a minute. You need to know how to do this. This is huge. This is enormous. The idea of outlining is, well, it all has to do with, let's see what kind of time do we got. We go till 9 o'clock. Beautiful. It has to do with a trip to Disneyland. All right? You have a trip to Disneyland. No talking out loud. We don't have to shout out our ideas. I just want you to, each one of you, say something about Disneyland. Just give me something about Disneyland. All right, Sawyer, give me something, babe.
It's one, it had COVID.
Now, give me something. We're not talking about diseases.
Mickey Mouse lives
Mickey Mouse.
there.
Okay, give me something, James. Give me something, Cha-Cha.
No, not true.
Okay, give me something, Chloe.
It's in Florida.
No. We just said Disney. Don't correct the other person. It is in Florida. It's Disney World. That's what I asked you about. Didn't say Disneyland, Disney Euro, anything like that. Just said Disney World. Okay, go ahead.
Me?
Mhm.
Oh, a lot of people have memories from there. Making memories. I'm going to Disneyland. Where we go.
Okay, give me something else with it.
I've never been there.
I don't care.
I don't know.
You ever heard of it?
Yeah.
Tell me something about it. No. You're not her. Let her do her own work. What? What? Goofy. Okay, give me something. Yeah. Can't hear you, what? Daisy the Duckwing? Okay, guys, let's do something now besides just characters. We can name 800 characters. We don't have a talk about Disney World. We have a talk about Disney characters. Guys, shut down. Nothing else comes to mind about Disney World, is it?
Whenever you're ketchup, they
Okay? No. We don't have to correct Gus. That's what he said. It's his. Yes. Okay, what else you got?
Ridiculously expensive.
Okay? Perfect.
You get Disney princesses signatures. I got some.
Guys, remember how we're not gonna talk, because everybody gets their own words, you don't put me in them. Yo.
Me?
Yep.
The fairies. Right?
Okay. Is that Ferry as in a boat?
Yes.
Or is that Fairy like Tinkerbell? Boat, okay. Okay? Tell me something real. Okay, that's just nonsense. Don't try to be funny. Just tell me something about Disney World.
All the actors are frogs,
That's the definition of actor.
It's colorful.
In what way?
It's like emotionally colorful.
Hush. What?
It's like pretty beautiful. When you look at the colors.
Okay?
I've never heard Oh My Heart Is In
Okay. Now, can you see how any of these go together?
Yeah, some of them.
Okay. Give me a couple things that go together. Annalise and only Annalise. Give me some things that go together.
The characters.
Okay, so what have we got here?
Mickey Mouse, Goofy, Daisy Duck.
Okay. What else goes together? Emily.
Vacation spot, Florida, beautiful. Together.
What would you make that for a category?
Vacation.
Okay. What else you got, Cha-Cha? Salisbury and Ryan. Okay. All right, so you got, okay. Now, let's see here. Kids, food, expensive, princess signatures. Omar, what, would you put those in one of the ones we already have? Would you?
But I was making one, number 4,
Oh,
money, because there is
wait, let him talk.
expensive and princess signatures, and because kids take a lot of money to read, and princess signatures, you can sell them for a ton of money in Vimeo. And expensive is money.
Okay, oh, sorry, did I do that? That was in my head. Okay, yes, ma'am.
I would put more in number 2. I
What
would
you
put expensive and kids.
Okay, anything else?
Oh yeah, and memories created.
Okay, that just leaves us with princess signatures, princess. Is that something
And
that goes
food.
anywhere? Princess sounds like it goes anywhere.
Yeah.
Princess sounds like it goes anywhere.
Characters.
Characters.
And food goes in number 2.
Food goes with vacation.
Yeah.
Okay, now,
Yeah.
here's the situation. Let's,
Sure, we'll
guys, this is important. We're not just thinking around about Disney World. We're saying this is how you're gonna learn to outline, okay? So you need to know how to do this. You just got tested on it. Next time I give this to you, you may get tested a lot more harshly. That's what's shared up. So what do we got here? Your topic is Disney World. That's not one of the subjects, but you've broken it down, okay? Now you got characters, vacation, rides. You can say, all right, what order are we gonna do this in? What order do you wanna do this in? You wanna do it in alphabetical order, okay? So you start off with a Roman numeral 1, and you have, what's for characters. Now I'm just gonna go with what we have. All right, you mentioned Mickey Mouse, Goofy, Daisy Duck, princesses. Okay, so now. Okay. What you have here is 3 equal things. So each one of these will be a Roman numeral because they carry the same weight in the essay. These things, starting with the capital letters, they support this idea. Now, suppose you were to say, I'm going to throw a couple of things in here. Suppose you were to say, all right, I want to go a little bit deeper. What's the next one down in Arabic numerals? So, hey, you can get signatures. Do they charge you for the signatures? Do they? I have no idea. No?
But I didn't pay.
Okay. Now, listen to me carefully. This is not about Disney World. This is about showing how to outline. You've got the main topic. The first thing you say are the characters. We've listed some characters. If there are other things you want to say about the characters, like this, they would go underneath it. So I just added this. Ordinarily, you try to balance an outline. So if there's 2 here, you probably want 2 under each of them. That doesn't always work, but that would be your goal, kind of keep things balanced. For example, if you did the War of 1812, you might have, when you talked about Washington, talk about it being burned, talk about it being the nation's capital, talk about Dolly Madison saving the picture, running out of the White House, talking about the British starting at the top. When you talk about Baltimore, you could talk about blocking the harbor, Fort McHenry, the Star Spangled Banner, the fact that the British hated the privateers, and the fact that the Americans stopped the British drive here. You talk about New Orleans, you could say Andy Jackson and Jean Lafitte, and flooding the battlefield and huge American victories. Okay, so you could divide this into roughly the same number of things in each spot. This is how you get organized. So the next thing you'd have would be equal to characters. And what do we say was equal to characters? We said, we're doing this alphabetically. Next thing was ride. Now, we didn't do a lot with ride. Rides would be 3. So you get the ferry and just rides in general. So since you mentioned the ferry, I might throw in there. And while you're doing an outline, you can add something more to it, like the tram that gets you around too. So you've got, I mean, these are just the fun rides. This is the transportation thing, that's the transportation thing, which is also kind of fun. So you can put that together. Okay, do you get the idea?
Yes.
You understand how to do it? Okay, we don't really need to spend any more time on that. Just understand, this is huge. This is organizing your thoughts. When you are doing an essay, when you get this all the way finished, it should be organized in the order and have all the details in it. And literally, writing your essay is just about reading through your outline and turning it into proper English. You have no more changes to make. You did your organization and all the facts are down in your outline. So all you have to do is read through it and change it into English sentences. What about paragraph? Sounds like paragraph. Number 3, paragraph. It's fairly easy to do. You know you need an introduction talking about this in general, and you know you need a conclusion talking about that in general. Okay, so it's a fairly simple thing to do. Well, it's one of the things that's simple, not necessarily easy. It takes a little bit of calm, take a deep breath, think it through, get yourself organized. That's what outlines are about. Now, when you look at my notes in the Google Classroom, those are set as in outline form. Did I put the new notes in there? They're in there, aren't they? No?
No.
Okay. Yeah, let me get that on. Write myself a big note. Here we go. We need. Okay, notes in the Google Classroom. I'll do that today. All right. Any questions? If you have spelling words, remember that is not a punishment. That is simply a way of my teaching you how to spell, to make sure you know how to do it. All right, we're going to turn the film off now. I'm going to send it to the other people. First, wait. Let me tell the people at home what I'm having them do for the last few minutes of class is I'm about to post those notes, having them get them into the notebook so that they're all set for tomorrow. Chloe, you can cut it off.